Hi there, welcome to the new Zanda video tutorial. I'm Irina, and in this video I will show you how to connect or integrate your Zanda account with your Xero accounting software. Before we proceed with the settings, let us have a look at the required user permissions and other settings that are necessary for this user to access the Xero integration setup in Zanda. If you are the owner of your Zanda account or a practice manager or another user with access to the settings menu, you will be able to help set up this user or check if you have the necessary permissions to access the Xero integration. To do that, let us go into the settings menu. In the team category, let's click Users and open the user profile of the staff member who will be setting up a Xero integration and or will have access to the Xero integration to export the invoices and payments from Zanda into Xero. So when we are on this user profile, what you need to ensure, you need to enable the required two-factor authentication switch. So this is the requirement that is enforced by Xero. Xero needs that every user who will have access to the Xero accounting software directly or through an integration are logging in directly into Xero or into the integrated software using also the two-factor authentication. So this is where you can enable this for the user. And while we are here, also the access financial reports permission is required for this user to have access to the Xero setup in Zanda. So two things: require two-factor authentication and access financial reports permission. That's what you need to enable on the user profile, and click Save. So now when this user logs in, if they didn't have the two-factor authentication set up before, they will be required to set this up for their Zanda login, and they will have access to the Xero settings. If you are the user who will be working with the Xero integration, you can also check if you have the two-factor authentication enabled. After you've logged into your Zanda account, click on the business name here at the top right, select User Profile, and you will see if two-factor authentication is enabled. If not, you will be able to turn this switch on and configure the two-factor authentication through the prompts that you will see here on this screen. So now we have established that you or the user who will be working with the integration have all the necessary user settings configured. Let us now go to the Tools menu. And here we need to select Xero Export. All right, and this is here, you can see that you are prompted to step 1, connect to Xero. And all you need to do is click to connect. You will be asked to log in to your Xero account using your login details. After that, you will be prompted by Xero to enter your two-factor authentication that you've set up for your Xero user, not Zanda. So these will be two different 2FAs, but both required. And once you've done that, you will be connected, or you will connect your Xero account with your Zanda account. Once the connection has been established, you will automatically return to a Xero export page in your Zanda account. And the first thing you need to do is to finish setting up your Xero settings in Zanda. To do that, click on Xero Settings button here at the top, and the Xero Export Connection Settings page will open for you. At the top, you will see which Xero account you are connected to, and then let us go through the further settings. First is your Xero branding theme. The branding theme for your Xero is something that you set up in your Xero account, and here in Zanda you only need to select which branding theme you will be using. So let's do the standard one in this case. The next setting is the Xero sales account. This setting is necessary for you to direct invoices from Zanda into a specific sales account in your Xero account. Please consult with your accountant which sales account you will be using. In this case, I will select, for example, the 200 sales account, You have an additional feature here to map Xero sales accounts to calendars. So, for example, you can select, click on Add Sales Account to Calendar Mapping, and you can select, for example, sales with calendar. So a specific Xero sales account can be mapped and connected with a calendar in Zanda, and you just click Save. And you can do the same for another profile, another practitioner, and so on. What this means is when you are exporting invoices for the services provided by these suppliers, by these practitioners, those invoices will be automatically exported to a linked Xero sales account. So that's how you can go about these Xero sales account mapping. The next feature is the Xero payments account. Again, it's up to your discretion and your accountant recommendation which Xero bank account you will be exporting your payments from Zanda. For example, we can select the payment clearing account. The next setting is the Xero tracking category name. And tracking categories are a special feature in Xero which helps you to track different areas of your business. So if you set up those tracking categories in Xero first, you will see them here appear as options for you to select. And here, as you can see, we have a link to the Xero's help desk that helps you to learn more about the tracking categories and how to set them up. So for example, let's select the tracking category as a service type. And the option for this will be, for example, existing clients. If you need to de-identify information that is sent from Zanda to your Xero account, you can turn off exporting clients' full name, and also you can turn off exporting client addresses from Zanda to Xero. This is for extra client information protection, and if you have these switches turned off, only the client initials and their Zanda profile ID number will be transferred to your Xero account. So this information should still be enough for you to identify your Xero contacts and match them with your Zanda client profiles. All right, and on this on the right hand side, you can also map your or set up your tax codes. Please let me remind you that these tax names that you see in the first column is something that you set up in your Zanda account through the custom list settings. And once you've set them up there, here you can just match with the Xero tax type. So for example, GST, tax exempt could be GST exempt, and another tax could be GST-free income. So again, this is just an example. It's not a recommendation from me and from Zanda. Please talk to your accountant about how best to map those taxes. And once you've finished setting up all those fields, just click Save. Once the integration is set up, you can start exporting information from Zanda to your Xero account. So what is actually being exported? First of all, you can export your Xero. You can export your Zanda clients into Xero, and this export will create a Xero contact for the client that you have exported from Zanda. What this means that you don't have to manually create contacts in your Xero account for your clients. The integration will do this for you. And the very first time you are exporting an invoice created for that client, the client information will also be exported into your Xero account, and the new contact will be created there automatically. So I mentioned exporting new clients. The next, you will be able to export invoices that you create in Zanda, and this will create invoices for your clients, for your contacts in the relevant Xero profile. And also you will be able to export payments that you have recorded in Zanda and added them to Zanda invoices. Then those payments can be exported to your Xero account as well. So let us have a look at how we can do this. And we are doing this now for the first time after you've set up your integration. So the get data for export filters, that's what we will be using. First of all, specify the time period for the export. You can select the start and the end date. It can be every day, every 7 days, every month, whatever is suitable for your business processes. Then turn or select the invoice statuses. The new invoice status means that this invoice has never been exported to Xero. Edited means that invoices have been exported, but some changes were made to invoices since the previous export. Exported, the program here will list invoices that already have been exported to your Xero account so that you can have an overview. And deleted, it will list if any invoices that have been previously exported to Xero have been deleted in Zanda. This way you can match the information you have into platforms just to see that everything is in order. The next filter is the calendar filter. Here you can select to export invoices that have been generated for all practitioners or select specific practitioners. The payment status, you can export, for example, paid invoices only, or paid and unpaid, or only unpaid invoices. So it's up to you. And the same, you can export invoices generated for all Zanda locations or select invoices just for a specific location. So once you've selected that all the filters, you set them up the way you need, click Load Data. And the list of invoices that are matching the filters you selected will appear. So before you do anything, let's just have a look at what information you can see here. It's invoice number, it's invoice date, it's invoice due date that can also be exported to your Xero account. Invoice 2 shows the payee. It can be the client themselves, or it can be a third party that are paying for this client and set up as a default payee on the invoice, or a contact of the client. Invoice summary lists the service name that has been used to generate this invoice, and the total is the total amount owing or the price of the service or services that have been added to this invoice. And of course, the exported and the export result columns will show you if this invoice has been exported to Xero or it has been attempted to export, and the export result. So now what you need to do is select which items you wish to export, and you can select all just by turning on this switch here at the top, and will automatically check every invoice in the list. You don't have to do it one by one. Or you can just select new, again, to ensure that edited or exported invoices haven't been selected again. Or you can do this manually, just select which invoices you want to export this time. And once you've done that, you will be able to export. Let's just do one, just for the demonstration purposes. Before you click export the data, there is the step 4 here, set Xero invoice status. So you can export invoices as a draft or as approved. If you select to export them as a draft, you will still be able to make changes and export them again to your Xero account. But in this case, you won't be able to export payments that have been added to those invoices you are exporting. If you are sure that everything is right with this invoice and its payment, you can just select as approved and click export selected invoices to Xero. Confirm, read the confirmation message and confirm that yes, you agree to export these invoices as approved, and you know that Xero doesn't allow changes to the invoices when they have a status of approved. So let's click yes. And depending on how many invoices you have selected, it may take some time for the data to process, and then once it's done, you will see the result of the export. You will see that the date when the invoice has been exported and the status of that invoice or export result. Now let's export the payments that have been already recorded in your Zanda account in the same time frame that you have selected. All you need to do is click this payments button and you will see which payments have been collected and added to invoices. So this list of payments is run by the date applied. So it means that the date when you added a payment to your invoices in Zanda. It will also show you the invoice numbers, the payment from, so the payee of that invoice, the amount of the payment, and the pre-export check. So in this case, you can see that the export button is grayed out because the invoices that have this payment linked haven't been exported to Xero yet. So what you need to do, just for example, have a look at the invoice numbers, go back to the invoices list, find those invoices and export them to Xero as approved first. Now let's have a look at the payments. Yeah, we can see that this invoice has been exported to Xero, and we can export the payment as well. There you go. We have exported this payment. It was exported to the payments clearing or another payment account in Xero that you set up in the integration settings, and you can see the result here. So this way, you can export a batch of invoices and then a batch of payments into your Xero account for further reconciliation there. While we're here on this list, let me show you what else you can do. If you right-click on the invoice number here, you will see the little menu that will allow you either to view invoice, to refresh data on this invoice, or to mark it as export. Before we move over to a Xero account to see the result of our export, let me just also show you a couple of little tips that can help you manage your information in Zanda better. And talking about payments, for example, you saw that we have a long list of invoices here, but the list of payments is much shorter. So you know that, for example, most of those invoices are paid, but you don't see the payments listed here. In Zanda, the payments are pulled into this Xero export by the date the payment was applied. This means that it can be different from the date the invoice was generated, because you could apply the payment later. So what you need to do is just to use a wider time frame to pick up those payments that have, for example, been added later or on a later date. And this way you will be able to see them here on the list of payments. If we go back to invoices, what I want also to show you, if you want to check that your invoices has been exported to Xero, you don't have to, for example, go to here Xero export page and run the list of exported invoices. This is a convenient way, but I also want to show you that, for example, if we open an invoice edit page, you will see this information recorded on it. It says exported to Xero, and it tells you the date and the time when this invoice was exported to Xero. So there is a record of this. Let us now move over to the second part, to viewing the invoices and payments that you've exported from Zanda into your Xero account. So here I am, I logged into our test account just to show you how this integration works. And if you want to see the invoices that have been exported, you just need to click on this business menu here at the top and select invoices. You will see that the most recent invoices which have been exported from a Zanda account here at the top. In the overview, what you can see, the number of the invoice is the same as your Zanda invoice number. Reference, this is the client name. It can be a full name if you selected to export client's information in full, or it can be the de-identified information. So here you can see that I've set up the integration to de-identify the client information. So it only transfers the name and the initial of the last name of the client. 35 is the client profile ID in Zanda. The two column here shows the information about the payee, so the person or organization who paid for this invoice. In the case of the invoices that we were using today as a demo export, the third-party payee was selected and paying for those invoices. So here we see also the identified information about the payee. 59 is the number of the profile in your Zanda account. In this case, it would be a third-party profile, and the name and the initial is the name of the person who is recorded with that third-party profile. What else you can see here? The date is the invoice date. The due date is the due date that you set up in your Zanda account for those invoices. And you can also see if the invoice has been paid. If not, it will show 0. If yes, it will show the paid amount. The due column here will show the amount still, which is still owing on this invoice, or it can be the 0. And in this case, the status will say if it's a paid invoice or awaiting payment. All right, let's have a look at the details. If we click on this invoice entry, it opens the invoice information, like the full invoice setup in your Xero account. And here you can see that the contact information. The contact means this is the Xero contact for the payee that Zanda integration created. So this is the payee, the third-party profile in your Zanda account, the invoice issue date, and the invoice due date, or the invoice date in Zanda account. The reference is the client information. So here, this is our client first name, initial, and client profile number. Invoice number is the same as the invoice number in Zanda. It also shows if there have been any online payments processed and what branding theme, Xero branding theme, has been used to create this invoice. Further, in the item part of the invoice, you can see the description. So the service name from Zanda is being transported here. The quantity of the services that have been billed, the price, if there has been any discount, not in this case. The Xero sales account, this this invoice has been exported to. The tax rate, the tax amount, the service type, this is the tracking category of a Xero account that is customly created, and the amount paid and what currency was used to pay. This is all I wanted to cover in this video. I hope you found it useful, and I will see you another time.